How political correctness distorts the worldview. Welcome to Truth Duel Official. In this video, you will learn about the psychology and history of political correctness. You'll want to stick around till the end of the video to learn how to avoid being killed by a non-binary samurai. But first, I am your host, Misinformation. If you like this channel, make sure to subscribe to receive more great political correctness, misinformation analysis, and other sentiments and ramblings that please and amuse us. And become a truth dueler. Because only you slay misinformation at its source. Get our app on truthduel.com. Why is it that atheists are afraid to admit they're atheists, but that vegan teacher shows no shame dancing in front of McDonald's? Why is it racist to call a Mexican a rapist, but not an American? How come you can criticize your own social group, but things get touchy when you try to judge others? Today, we're going to discuss political correctness and all the messiness associated with it. The term political correctness has its roots in irony. It was borrowed from communist texts by left libertarians satirizing left authoritarians, which is why the term sounds Orwellian. However, the term lost its humor as it became used as a way for people to question the social power behind words. This was especially prevalent in the 1970s, when political correctness was used as a force of social change rather than mere politeness. Typically, political correctness surrounds the use of derogatory words aimed at oppressed groups. However, what is considered an oppressed group is subject to change. For example, in the 1960s, Southern European immigrants were an oppressed group in Australia. Anglo-Australians often used slurs such as wogs and Demagogues to disparage this group. This caused the terms to become politically incorrect and they fell out of common usage. However, in 1987, the play Wogs Out of Work saw success in Australia as Southern European immigrants had become more accepted in wider society. The word cunt has been on a similar trajectory in Australia. As Australian women have made social gains, cunt has appeared more often in media than previously. The word is certainly an Australian stereotype, that and punching kangaroos. We may ask ourselves, how is one considered an oppressed group? Vanderbilt University defines oppression as, quote, the combination of prejudice and institutional power which creates a system that discriminates against some groups and benefits other groups. End quote. This may be codified in law, such as the concept of a protected class. Protected classes are subject to change. For example, the Civil Rights Act of 1964 protected people on the basis of race, religion, and national origin. Only later was sex, age, and disability added in the 20th century. Even now, there are calls for people with criminal histories to be added to the protected class list, as it is legal to discriminate against them in housing and employment.
70 million people in this country, which is 1 in 3 adults, have some kind of criminal record. And each and every one of them go through intense pain in finding a job. We've created a platform whereby these folks can find jobs with employers that are willing to hire them. Unemployment in the general population is very, very low. But as it relates to people with records, unemployment has never been higher. It's close to 30%. There's a 66% chance that someone released from prison will be rearrested within 3 years, and almost 80% chance they'll be rearrested within 5 years. Interestingly, they are almost all unemployed at time of arrest.
People's distrust of political correctness stems from psychology. One of the most common fears is a fear of public speaking, which affects 3 in 4 people. This poor guy is living our worst nightmare.
I'm computing it.
However, politicians are often good orators. People tend to distrust good orators because of the psychological concept called HOMOPHILY, which means we like people who are like ourselves. When politicians use political correctness, their eloquence may induce negative stereotypes about intelligence, such as haughtiness and a disconnect from regular people. This is why people often gravitate towards politicians they could have a beer with, and why demagogues may gain supporters by disparaging the ivory tower. This distrust of orators was seen all the way back in ancient Athens. Politicians would teach wealthy young adults to be good orators so they would advocate for the politician, often for things like avoiding a prison sentence. Even famous philosophers such as Plato disliked rhetoric and orators because of this. Plato, Aristotle, it's all Greek to me. Let's be honest, politicians have used political correctness for some not so politically correct purposes. During the Vietnam War, the phrase collateral damage was popularized to encompass property destruction and civilian deaths.
Why should I change it? So you want collateral damage, huh? Who the fuck are you? I give you fucking collateral damage. It looks like a fireman. Move in, go now!
Though political correctness is associated with moral outrage, collateral damage is Orwellian because it's designed to do the opposite. By refusing to say civilian deaths, the public is distanced from the brutality of the situation, which the military hopes will lead to fewer protests over their actions. Clearly, the government thinks there's power in words. But what effect do words really have on people? Is there a tangible benefit to political correctness? As it turns out, political correctness may foster creativity in diverse groups by providing a social code. Researchers from Cornell University studied mixed gender groups and gave them different instructions. Some groups were told to be politically correct and some were told to be polite, and the control group was told nothing. You know, being in the control group feels a lot like being the middle child of the experiment. The groups then brainstormed business ideas, and the researchers assessed the quantity and quality of these. The groups told to be politically correct outperformed the others, which researchers noted was due to a more relaxed atmosphere among the participants. Political correctness provided a framework that the group could work within, dispelling some anxiety around interacting with a different gender. Sometimes, political correctness, such as using someone's name and pronouns, is a matter of life or death. Medical researchers studied the correlation between depressive symptoms and chosen name usage in transgender youth. Choosing a new name is often part of social gender transition, which includes new pronouns, a new wardrobe, and sometimes a haircut. When transgender youth were allowed to use their chosen name in many places, such as at home, school, or at a doctor's office, their suicidal behavior decreased by 56%. To lighten the mood, our Truth Duel investigative reporters have dug up a pronoun joke to please and amuse you.
How does a non-binary samurai kill people? They slash them.
Even though the word is Orwellian, is it possible that political correctness shows the marketplace of free ideas working as intended? Maybe people use political correctness because the idea simply outcompetes traditional norms. Tell us what you think in the comments below. Misinformation wishes you well and reminds you not to get too triggered. P.S. How related are political correctness and virtue signaling? Check out our video called Top 10 Ways to Virtue Signal today to learn more. Until next time, make sure to like our video, subscribe to our channel, and become a Truth Dueler, or that vegan teacher will sing to you.
Another reason to be vegan. Plants don't feel pain. This girl is on cocaine.
Her TikTok hurts my brain.
She drives people insane.